Hello and welcome to another video of mine. In this video I thought I would make the mid-year freakout tag and also tell you about my journey on Booktube, because I've been on Booktube for 6 months now, so woohoo! Or something, I don't know. So I just want to talk overall about my experience on Booktube, and it's been really fun. I had to learn so many things. Yeah, I thought it would be a little bit easier, but yeah, there's a lot of work making these videos. You have to get yourself presentable and then somehow make a place to film, and you know, then you have to clean this place up. Or anyways, you just have to take all the things you have there and throw them behind the camera, and then you make this look nice. So that takes a lot of time actually, and sometimes you have to film the video again because I was mumbling too much or the video was out of focus. That's actually what happens a lot of the time. And sometimes I'm like, okay, you know what, this video is just going to be poor quality because so yeah, oh my god. And then there's the editing. I'm using head film, and I'm getting better and better at it, but I had to learn a lot. It was a little bit difficult actually to get into. And also for my computer, it's like it's dying every time I'm trying to edit. It's like it is so hard for the computer to do these video editing, but I'm getting better and better. I say a lot actually when I'm talking in English, and obviously English is not my first language. And I'm getting a little bit nervous in front of the camera sometimes, and I think that's why I'm always like, and I'm not the best at like putting a lot of words into something I want to tell people, whether it is describing a book or just tell a person about how my day went. And I'm really trying to learn to be more talkative, putting more words into it. And yeah, so it is really a good practice to do that actually when I'm talking about books, because if you want to be on Booktube, then you have to be able to talk about books and not just say this was a good book. But yeah, I was actually surprised about how difficult it is. And also like when I wanted to like make a TBR, and then I have checked up on the books, and then I'm like, I don't know any of the names of these characters. So the main female character and the main male character, and it's just so dumb. So there's also a lot of prep work that needs to be done, and when you are then in front of the camera, you're like, I don't remember anything. It is what it is. But it is funny to make these videos. I have to learn to be better at looking at the camera. My eyes are like everywhere. I think that's because I do get a little bit shy. And then I also have to learn to like smile. And yeah, there's a lot of things I am trying, and again I'm looking down, so hello. There's some good things about making videos because I am getting more productive, because then I'm like, okay, if I go cleaning now, I could listen to this audiobook more, and then I'll have another book that I read, or this project could be funny to film, and then I'm doing it, and it just gives me a little bit more motivation. The downside is that it does take a lot of time to set things up and to edit and to allow myself to do Booktube and to do something I think is funny, because I do have a child and a lot of my focus just goes to that. And yeah, it's difficult not to feel guilty when I'm doing something that's not related to like take care of the house and my child and you know, stuff like that. That is something that I have to learn. I think I said in like my intro video, the Booktube newbie tag, that I was really scared that there would be some mean comments. I just think I got one where somebody told me that I should convert into Islam or something. So yeah, it wasn't that bad actually. And then if somebody in the future is writing me a mean comment, then I like, okay, but at least I'm not you. I don't have the need to do that. So it says a lot more about them than it does about me. So yeah, I'm getting better at it. I'm still a bit nervous about uploading a new video, and then I think there's this thing, a lot of people trying to be something on YouTube is to worry, is anybody watching my videos? And I don't think that many are. Hi mom. That was definitely something that I had to learn in the beginning, like, oh, it is very difficult to be somebody, and maybe that shouldn't be my goal. My goal should be to have fun, because also I know that my first videos, they weren't the best, not in quality and not me in front of the camera, because I still have to learn. And yeah, I also didn't make like a great thumbnail or anything. Just a tip, if you're gonna make a Booktube newbie tag something. If you're considering that, make a great thumbnail. I still have to learn not to worry so much about if I'm getting any views, just that I should have fun. But it is nice to get views, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if somebody is clicking on my video, I'm like, yes. I know, it's sad. It is sad. Yeah, it's hard work, and for some the algorithm, it's really working for them and they are maybe more of a natural talent in front of the camera. Then there's me, and yeah, that's okay. And then there's the thing, like, should I try to really try to figure out how the algorithm is working? Should I read some specific books and stuff like that? And I'm like, if that's where my head is supposed to be all the time, then it's gonna be a really stressful journey on Booktube. I don't think that's what I want to do. Okay, let's get into the mid-year freak out tag then. And the first question is, what's the best book that I read so far in 2023? And I wrote down a few books actually. And the first two, I think I'm gonna give a 5-star, and that's the 5th book in the Archetype series. This is by Sarah J. Maas, and this is a mix of romance and fantasy. It's adult fantasy, and it's about fairies. And what I like about this, it's not just a straightforward line where you can predict what's going to happen. I definitely did not. Yeah, I really like these books. They can be smutty as well, just so you know. If that's not your thing, then it's been really great. I will say the 5th book maybe wasn't the best book in the series, but I enjoyed it anyway, and especially like the last 5 hours of the audiobook, they were really great. And then the other book that I'm gonna give 5 stars is Fredrik Backman's. It was the last book in his trilogy, Bear Town. I think that was the first book I read in 2023. And this series is a lot more heavy, and it's about this ice hockey team in Sweden, in north of Sweden, in this really small town. Yeah, so it like centers around this ice hockey team, but it's not just about the players, it's about their families. There's so many great points in this, and Fredrik Backman is just such a talented author. But yeah, it is heavy, just so you know. The next book that I wrote down is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And I was really surprised when I was reading this book, because I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did, because it's been so popular on Booktube. And books like this tends to disappoint me a little bit, but this one did not. And it's about Evelyn Hugo, who is a famous actress in the 60s, and it's about her journey to the top. And Hollywood is just a cruel place to be as a woman in the 60s. And 50s, I believe. Really great book. I would definitely recommend. And the other book is Tom Lake, and I listened to it as an audiobook, and it's narrated by Meryl Streep. I would just definitely recommend doing it that way. And this one reminded me a little bit of Evelyn Hugo, because this one is about a mother who's telling her stories to her 3 girls that are adults. She was also an actress briefly in her 20s, and then it's just about that story. And yeah, I really liked it. So audiobook, that's the way to go. And the next book I want to recommend is Part of Your Will by Jimenez. And this is a romance book, and usually romance books are not that, like, they're not a 5-star, but I'm gonna give this 4.5, I think. So that's pretty high for a romance book. And it's just really great and funny and sweet. And it's about this doctor, and she crashes on the road, or not crashes, but her car gets stuck, and then a man comes to help her, and he's from this very small town. And yeah, then they start a little love affair there. But they really do have different lives, and it's about how they are gonna overcome this obstacle that they have, because her family does not approve of this. And yeah, it's just really cute, and I liked it. And then the last book that I put on here was the Surviving Trace series, and this is about a woman who suddenly just travels back to 1912 to this estate, and there she meets the owner of the estate, because apparently she looks exactly like his wife, but that wife is just gone, and now she has taken over her place. And yeah, then it's about their journey. And yeah, I like this. I was really entertained. It's a trilogy. I haven't heard about it before I googled books about time travel, and then this came up. I was entertained, so that's why I put it on the list. Okay, the next question is best sequel you read so far in 2022. So I think that's gonna be like the 5th book in the Agatha series. A new release you haven't read yet but want to. I found a book that's called When the Moon Hats by Sarah A. Parker. And it's a romantasy book, and it's a mix of romance and fantasy, and I love romantasy. But it's not been the best year of romantasy so far. I haven't found any new 5-star books in that field, so maybe this one could be that. Then the next question is most anticipated release for the second half of 2022. And that's the 4th book in the Nevermoor series. And apparently it's out already. I'm like, did I read that correctly? Because I didn't think it was going to be out in 2024. Have I said 2023 a lot of the time? Actually, it is 2024, right? Anyways, the Nevermoor series is a series that's really similar to Harry Potter in some ways. And it's also middle grade, and it's just really, really, really great. So if you like Harry Potter, I would recommend this series a lot. I really loved it, and it was one of my favorite series that I read last year, so go read that. Big recommendation from me. So the biggest disappointment. I DNF'd 3 books, but I'm not gonna include these here. I'm just gonna include the books that I actually read the whole thing from. And the first one is The Ice Palace. That just sucked. I don't know. There was so much build up to this big release, but it never came, and no. The other one is The Hating Game, and this is a romance book. I had heard that this wasn't the greatest romance book. Yeah, I didn't like it as much either, and there was a lot of height shaming in there and just some dumb things, and yeah, not my favorite book. And what's the biggest surprise? I just recently read Hate Mail. That was also a romance book, and I heard that it was similar to The Hating Game, but it was so much better, and I was really surprised, and it was a good book. So yeah, really surprised. And like I said before, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo, I didn't expect to like it that much. That was my biggest surprise. So the next question is a new favorite author. And I just haven't read 2 books by the same author, unless it was a series, and that doesn't really count, so I don't know who I would put here. Okay, and then the next question is newest fictional crush. And I have a husband. So obviously I'm gonna pick Resan from the Akita series. I mean, book 2 is still living rent-free in my heart. So like, yeah, that's a little bit embarrassing, but yeah, I'm gonna pick him. Then the next question is newest favorite character. And I think I'm gonna pick like Daniel from Part of Your World, because he's just such a sweetheart, and he comes from this very small town, and he just really wants the best for people, and he's always helping, and he really just deserves to find happiness and love, and I was really rooting for him. So yeah, Daniel. The next question is a book that made you cry. I haven't read any books that made me cry this year, but the Britney Spears biography, there were a scene there where my feelings were really riled up, and I was like, ugh. The scene where she's describing how her kids were taken away from her, that is just so awful, and that was really heartbreaking. If you're a Britney Spears fan and you haven't read this book, go read it. It's just awful what happened to her, so yes. And then the next question is most beautiful book you bought this year. And I haven't bought any of the books that I read, but I think the cover to the Tom Lake book is quite beautiful, so I think I'm gonna pick that. Then the next question is, what books do you really need to read by the end of this year? And I just have to read a Rebecca Ross book. This is the Divine Rival series, and this is also a romantasy series. And Rebecca Ross is just everywhere on Booktube right now, and I just heard great things about her, and I really want to read one of her books. So that's my plan, and then maybe this is what I'm gonna start with. So yeah, I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be great. If not, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Okay. So I think that was the last question, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe you'll find some inspiration to become a booktuber yourself.
I could be like your tutor.
I also hope that you find some book inspiration. I hope to see you in my next video, and you have a great day. Bye!